Welcome to the final Chat Lemon for the Lemonade League. This is also going to serve as our Lemonade League postseason honors show, the award show, as we have the entire coaching staff together, all of the wisdom that was imparted over the course of the summer. Commissioner Greg Kigar is here, Director of Baseball Chad Roskelly. The coaches of the champion Locos are here, Pete Romsek and Cam Vieaux. And the coaches of the Lugnuts are here, Cullen Turner and Riley McCauley. Let's start off with the Director of Baseball. Chad, 20 games, you got it in, a champion was crowned. How did you feel after it was all over?
It was good. It was bittersweet, I think. It was exciting because all the hard work and everything that these coaches have done, you guys have done with the Lugnuts, it basically all paid off. We weren't cut short, which was big. It was props to the guys for kind of following the guidelines, props to the coaches for enforcing it, as well as the staff with the Lugnuts, Greg and Tyler and yourself, Jesse, just making sure everything is going smoothly. It was very fun. It was a good ride for sure.
And then Commissioner Greg Kigar, before we get into our honors, your thoughts about these 20 games?
I just echo what Chad's saying. It was a long way to go and a short time to get there, as they say, and everything that we planned on, some of the stuff we had to use, some of it we didn't, which was great. But to get through all those weeks unscathed, keeping on top of guys to do the right thing, and echo the sentiments of the coaches, because without those guys in the dugouts and in the bullpens and in between the lines, it made for an outstanding summer. And I've gotten any number of emails and texts from coaches, and I bet you over a dozen parents have gotten back to me by email, and a couple of them approached me after the last game. Just a tremendous effort by everybody on our behalf and our coaches' behalf to hopefully give these guys a summer they won't forget.
At last count, there were 57 total players who took part in the Lemonade League. Let's honor them now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to name an all Lemonade League team, all the way through catcher through the infield, 3 outfielders, a DH, and a starting pitcher and a relief pitcher. Then after that, we're going to hand out 3 additional honors: a most improved player, a most outstanding pitcher, and a most outstanding position player. And let's begin with our all Lemonade League team. Coach Pete Romsek, the catcher.
Yep, so the catcher of the all Lemonade League team is going to be from the Lansing Locos. It's Craig Palladar. So I'll tell you, the catching position, that was a debated one. That was a tight race. But in the end, we went with Craig, mostly for his consistency at the plate. He hit 286 in the Lemonade League. He was a guy, too, who improved a lot, I thought, in a short amount of time in the season behind the plate. I know he worked really hard with Chad and Cullen, and even Adam Proctor. When he came here, he was working with them a little bit, too, on his receiving and getting more flexible behind the plate. So he's very deserving of that first spot.
Pete, let's stick with you. How about most outstanding first baseman in the league?
Yep. So this one, I don't think it's going to be a huge shock. It's my guy, Cade Preston. So I've known Cade for a really long time. I know what he's capable with the play at the plate. Obviously, if you talk to him, I know he'd tell you he got off to a little bit of a rocky start. But, I had a confidence in him, kept putting him in the middle of the order, and he made me look really good. So he ended up hitting 283, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, and that was even with the shortened season. So I think he only played 12, 13 games. I'm curious to see what he would have done if he extended all the way out through the end. But definitely it was a joy to write his name in the middle of the lineup every day.
Now to our all Lemonade League second baseman, Cullen Turner.
Yeah, so for our second baseman, we selected Mark Conley from the Lansing Lugnuts. He's an LCC star. Had a great summer for us, hit 350. Came in, played a little bit of third base, second base, shortstop, played all around. But I thought when he came in and after a couple games, made a great impact for us, and excited to see what the future holds for him, because he's a really good player and had a really good summer for us. So
I saw that smile when you got to say that he was an LCC star. All right, the all Lemonade League shortstop.
Yeah, for shortstop, we selected Darren Davis. He was incredible all summer. Hit 550 for us, leadoff hitter. Obviously, a shortstop, was really, really good defensively. A catalyst at the top of our offense, really got things rolling for us. Stole a ton of bags, hit for some power, hit to all fields. So he was a kid that really, when we lost him, it hurt a little bit, but for the time he was there, he was incredible. And great work ethic and great kid to be around. So really happy for him.
Back to Pete Romsek for the All Lemonade League third baseman.
Yeah, so the third baseman is going to be from the Locos. It's Zach Hickey from Central Michigan. So Zach, I'm sure he'd be the first one. He doesn't mind me saying this. He'd be the first one to tell you, I don't think that his summer was up to his standard. I think he struggled to get it going a little bit at the plate, but beyond that, he drew a ton of walks. I think his batting average is in the low 200s, but his on-base percentage was 500. So obviously really great at the plate, great eye, works his way on a lot. On top of that, he was just kind of our veteran leader. I think he was the guy who really brought the team together the most. He was really vocal, really helped lead some of these young guys, and really helped with our team chemistry. So despite probably what he would say was not the greatest season for him at the plate in terms of batting average, I think his value goes well beyond that, and he's well deserving of that spot.
We're naming the All Lemonade League team. Let's leave the infield. Let's go to the outfield. Let me go to Riley McCauley.
Yeah, so the first outfield selection will be Colin Cornwell from the Lugnuts. Colin was the anchor of our lineup. He had anywhere 1, 2, 3, or 4 in our lineup. He led the league in RBIs. He had double the walks than he did strikeouts, and I think he was second in average slugging percentage and on base or OPS. And he also was second in the league in stolen bases.
For our second outfield selection on the All Lemonade League team, to Cullen Turner.
Yep. So for our second outfielder, we selected Zaid Walker. He's a Michigan State Spartan, played for the Lugnuts. Had an incredible summer for us, ended up hitting .306, led the league with 16 stolen bases. And he was a guy that was mostly in the middle of our lineup, 3, 4, 5. And for a guy to be able to go in, have, hit a home run, be able to steal bases, hit for power, hit for average, all about that. So I thought he had a great summer, played solid defensively, and really big catalyst for us in the middle of the offense. So really happy for him.
Let's finish off this outfield by going to Cam Vieaux.
All right, so the third and final outfielder is Adam Purdy. He was the Loco leadoff man out of Concordia, Ann Arbor. He was just solid for us. Every time we started the game off, Purdy and I joked that it didn't feel right if he didn't get walked. He had 18 walks with a .474 on base percentage and batted .304. So that's as solid as it gets at the plate for a leadoff guy. And defensively, he made a ton of great plays for us too.
Let's finish off the hitters by naming a DH for this All Lemonade League team to the Director of Baseball, Chad Roskelly.
This one is going to Michael Steigels. This one, he could have been an outfielder, probably could have been a first baseman. We didn't really know. He was kind of playing all over the place at those 3 positions. But he had a very good summer. He was 300 hitter, 311 to be exact. He was on base. His average was 500, which is pretty darn impressive. One thing that kind of stuck out to me, especially after coaching him for 2 years, was he had 14 walks compared to 7 strikeouts, which is pretty darn good. Usually, obviously, you want to be around even for that. So I think that was a big step up for him. But yeah, all around pretty good summer for him. He moved the baseball, had a decent amount of RBIs, and hit pretty well. So proud of him.
Let's get our pitching coaches back involved to name a top starting pitcher and a top relief pitcher on this Lemonade League team. Riley McCauley, your starting pitcher.
So I think the starting pitcher is a no-brainer. Colin Bradley from the Locos. He led the league in ERA, had the most innings pitched, had a sub-1 whip, and held hitters to a 133 average. I mean, he showed up, and I think he came in halfway through the summer and completely dominated. Won all 3 games he started, and it was very, very impressive watching him pitch this summer.
And now to name the relief pitcher on our All Lemonade League team. So back to you, Cam Vieaux.
Relief pitcher is Nolan Knopf out of Saginaw Valley State. He was with the Locos as well. Numbers-wise, doesn't really jump off the page to you. It's kind of a struggle for a lot of the bullpen pitchers, but this guy, every time he came out, was just nails and wanted to rip the batter's face off pretty much. So that was pretty fun for all of us to watch, and yeah, well deserved.
You made pitches at the end of games. So let's that finishes off our All Lemonade League team. But this brings us to our 3 awards that we've set aside: the most improved player, the most outstanding pitcher, and the most outstanding player. And to begin things with the most improved player, let's go right back to you, Chad Roskelly.
This one's going to go to Garrett G. Lanker. This dude, I had the privilege to work with him basically every day in the pregame stuff with catching-wise. He showed up, knew he had to get better, and he did. He put the effort in, put the work in. So it was cool to see. When he first showed up, the receiving stuff was a little bit suspect. He struggled at times, and he'll tell you that. He's not going to be afraid to say that. And by the end of the summer, he was no professional, but it was pretty impressive. It was so I'm hoping he goes back to school and shows what he can do, and his career can really take off, and he can be a key role for that College of the Mines or wherever he's at. So he was fun to work with, and he's just a good dude. He worked hard, good guy to be around. So props to him. Proud of him.
I hope you guys get a postcard. I hope you guys get a letter from his college coaching staff. Would anyone else like to add anything about Garrett Lanker?
I just liked how his preparation was awesome. No matter how good or bad he played the night before, he was always the first one to the field, getting his body ready, and he always knew what he had to do. So that was just impressive every day, no matter how good or bad it was going. He was always there with the same mindset.
So most improved player, Garrett Lanker. That brings us to our most outstanding pitcher. So I think that there was a clear, far and away front runner for this.
Yeah, it was Colin Bradley. He just showed up and he pretty much shoved. He was just so competitive. You could tell it really meant to him a lot every time he was out there, and he just wanted to win. We'd already clinched the championship last Saturday, and he was still fist pumping after the first inning. Just jacked up. He just likes to play baseball, and dominated the league.
Cam was his pitching coach. Lugnuts coaches Cullen and Riley, were you giving any advice to your hitters?
I mean, when he came in and he was commanding the slider and fastball, it was a hard adjustment. I think stemming off what Cam said, like when Colin showed up to the field ready to pitch, he was focused and he was attacking the zone, and he wasn't gonna let Cam take the ball out of his hand early in the game. So it was impressive.
Did get our only complete game, I believe, in the Lemonade League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Colin obviously came off our wait list, came to our one of the pitching tryouts we had. Did either of the pitching coaches see that in him just off his 20 or 30 pitch tryout that day?
I would
Go ahead.
I mean, if you want to say, I would say, you could tell he was obviously talented, but when you put someone between the lines and on the mound, you don't know how they're going to compete and attack hitters. And I just think when you watched Colin actually get out there and use his good stuff and just attack guys, that's what made him special.
Yeah, the super cool thing about him is he isn't throwing 95. His breaking ball isn't spinning like crazy, and nothing he does is anything special. He just knows what he has and pitches to the best of his abilities, and really has a good approach and knows what he's doing out there. I'm excited to see what's next for him. He's going to he is talking about transferring out of Northwood and going to start a new chapter, and really excited to see what happens with him.
So Colin Bradley is our most outstanding pitcher, and that brings us to our last honor, unless we want to name a most outstanding coach. It's up to you guys.
We'll go Pete Romsek.
I'll take it.
Let's name a most outstanding player for the 2020 Lemonade League.
Colin, go ahead and take it. Oh, you got it.
Go ahead, Colin. Go ahead, Colin.
All right, for I guess the league MVP, we selected Colin Cornwell, a guy for us that was an absolute stud, similar to Colin, in kind of how he showed up and approached the game. Very serious, one of the first guys to the field, getting his body ready, understanding what he had to do to be successful. And for us, he was an awesome kid to coach. He obviously playing wise was incredible, hit for a great average. stole a ton of bases, played anywhere in the outfield, played a really good center field for us. Could bat him anywhere in the lineup. But the type of kid he was and seeing how he worked was awesome to see. Kind of refreshing in some sense. But yeah, he was incredible this summer, and very proud and see where his talent takes him.
Any other thoughts that you guys would like to add about Colin Cornwell?
I just think go ahead, Chad.
Sorry. I actually had the privilege of talking to their pitching coach, and he was kind of asking me like, "What's going on with Colin this summer?" I'm like, "He's a stud, man." So, and I came to find out that he was actually they found at a camp. Basically, he just went to the Saginaw Valley camp, saw that he could play a little bit, gave him a shot. So I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of these kids, basically, all you need is a chance, and then how they roll with it is, or what happens next is up to them. So that was pretty cool to hear, because I mean, he had a heck of a summer, and it was he was just so consistent. Every game, it was never easy out. Yeah, I know he struck out a few times, but it was never easy for him. He was still putting good swings on balls, still making plays in the outfield, still running. He ran every ground ball out hard. Just a good guy. Like, honestly, I think he's a guy that you want to build your team around. If you had a bunch of Cornwells on your team, you would be pretty darn good. So props to him. It was fun to watch him this summer for sure.
Yeah, and I think just being in the same dugout as him every game, coaches preach, don't take a pitch off. I can honestly say that Cornwell probably did not take one pitch off this summer. I would say he probably didn't take one swing and batting practice, one practice outfield fly ball off the whole summer. And it obviously showed with the way he played and the way he came focused every day to the field.
As we wrap this chat lemon up, we've given the awards, and usually what we like to do is just any final thoughts from Chad and from Greg. But what I'd like to do is just go around the coaches. Any final thoughts from you about your experience, where you are right now, anything that you would like to add before we officially draw all of this to a close? So let's begin with the Championship Locos coaching staff, and let's begin with Pete Romsek.
Yeah, no, obviously, just had a ton of fun this summer. It was a blast. I mean, like I said, me and Cam got really lucky with just such a great group of guys to be around all summer. And I guess I can technically probably give you guys the update on me. So I'm actually in Chicago, Illinois right now. I took a new job as the assistant coach and recruiting coordinator at a school called St. Xavier University. So, I'm looking for a place in this new office for that big trophy. So try to figure it out.
Treat those lemons well. Cam Vieaux.
Yeah, I'm just actually up north now, getting away for a little bit, hanging out on the lake. But no, what an awesome experience for me. That was my first time doing anything coaching-wise, and I told these guys I don't know what to expect out of it, and I kind of come out on the other side seeing myself doing something like this in the future. So hopefully I have a long career ahead of me still playing, but when I get done with that, hopefully I can coach for the Lugnuts or something.
Let me ask a weird question. You hear from new parents, oh no, I'm turning into my father with whatever they're saying to their kid. All right, you've never done any coaching before. You go out to the mound on a pitching mound visit. Did you say anything to the pitcher where you're like, I'm just like this pitching coach?
I mimicked my high A pitching coach, Matt Ford, almost to a T. I feel like the entire summer, I just whenever there was anything I had to do, that's who I kind of would think back on in situations I've been in with him. He's definitely my coaching role model. I'm going to let him know that.
Let's go to the Lugnuts coaching staff right now, and let's begin with Riley McCauley.
Yeah, first off, I want to thank all the players and staff and other coaches and everyone that tuned in every night to watch the games. It's these crazy times. Baseball's not promised. Sports weren't promised. And, we took the protocols to have a safe summer, and it was fun. I also want to thank my pitching staff a lot. I came in the summer, trying to help these guys prepare for fall ball and win spots next year. But I also took a lot from them. I probably learned more from them than they learned from me. So, I think showing up to the field every day, I had a positive attitude. All my guys did, and it was a fun summer.
Cullen Turner.
Yeah, similar to what Riley said, I feel like first time kind of experiencing this, I would say I learned more from the guys than I was able to teach them. So it was an awesome opportunity, and I can't thank you guys enough, Greg and everybody at the Lugnuts, for putting it on. Can't thank the players enough. They were incredible to coach all summer. All of them showed up to the ballpark ready to go, so it made my job a little bit easier. Yeah, an incredible opportunity, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Ken's got his contacts with Pittsburgh. Riley's got his contacts. Pete, I don't know about your contacts. Cullen, you've got friends with the Blue Jays. Were you giving people a call saying, by the way, write up a report on this guy. We need to sign him, draft him, whatever we need to do.
Exactly. Yeah, Darren Davis. Get on Darren Davis.
Yep.
To the director of baseball now, Chad Roskelly, your final thoughts about everything.
It's been fun. I know they were kind of saying they've learned stuff from the players and everything. I did as well. I enjoyed bouncing ideas off the other coaches too, and just kind of learning from them and seeing the way that they approach things or certain situations. So it was good. I think we all got the opportunity to grow as coaches, as people this summer. Working with completely new people, new players, new coaches, new like bosses, and Greg and Tyler. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity. So Jesse, Greg, Tyler, everyone else that helped out, thank you very much.
I didn't do too much. Let's go to the guy who did it.
Hey, you helped out. I
was going to say, he did plenty.
Yeah.
So let's end where things began. And Greg Kigar, you're where it began, so end things however you would like them.
Well, first of all, I have to thank Tom Dixon, our owner, who really it was him that said, after we had our first conversation and really relating back to me and what I told him what I thought we could accomplish. And he's like, go for it. And so between himself and Tyler Parsons, our GM, who let me run with the ball, and I kept running. And like I said before, I ran with it till they told me to stop, and they never told me to stop. So we put that framework together. We got Chad on board, then Pete, and everybody else followed, and we sat down and actually at the table on that right now and determined what the rosters are going to look like, and kind of held our breath to figure out if the plans that we put in place were gonna be followed correctly, but see where the two teams came. And after the first 3 or 4 games, it's like, maybe we should have a trade here, because the Lugnuts looked like they were going to run away with it pretty early. And the tide changes, and you talk about momentum swings in other sports, and baseball is one of those hard ones. You play day after day after day, and the locals turned it around, and Pete and Cam had something in that group. And talking with the Zach Hikis and some of those guys, are like, what, we just seem to gel so quickly, and it showed. They just outlasted the Lugnuts until they got her done a little early. Which is fine. We didn't have a home run derby, which is fine, but who knows what the future holds. Hopefully we can continue to do this. But I thank all you guys and the top of our Lugnut staff, and certainly our owner again, and the fans that came to the games, and everybody on chat, including my mother, who decided she needed to chat online as well. And I'd get text here and there. And it was pretty interesting from my perspective, because it all went full circle with my mother contacting me during a game. So, but it was fun, and thank you guys so much for making it great for me, for the time and energy we put into it. I basically, at our first meeting, kind of handed players over to you, and from that point on, it was your program, and I think it was a huge success. To get through 20 games, added 2 at the end. We sold every ticket that we were able to, and certainly could have sold a whole lot more if we could have. So thank you. Much appreciated.
Hey, lemons into lemonade. And that was some good lemonade. So now there will be a ton of people following Cam View's professional career, following Oakland, following Michigan State, following LCC and SVSU and everything else going on. And I guess now St. Xavier, we all got to get our shirts. But here we go. Big thanks to all of you guys. To Cullen Turner, Cam Vieaux, Riley McCauley, Pete Romsek, Chad Roskelly, and Greg Kigar. I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strassler. This has been Chat Lemon for 2020. Let's see what the future brings. Be well. Enjoy the baseball.